Hi, this is Aaron Nola, and welcome to the Phillies Show.
Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zalecki. It's the Phillies Show. It's Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Guys, I hope you are doing well this morning. I made my...
I'm doing well.
Are you?
Maybe some other folks are not doing well.
Who might that be?
There's a lot of doom and gloom in the air.
Yeah.
My day did not start great. I get up in the morning right before the show, and I get excited because I'm making my coffee. Make this big pot of coffee, pour it out, all water. Got to put the coffee grounds in, guys. When you make your coffee in the morning.
Don't forget those, pal. Don't forget those.
Got to do that. Phillies on Monday night had to come back. They had lost 9 out of 10. Real nice win. You know, really fun ninth inning. Couple bunts. Otto Kemp had 3 hits. A lot of fun on Monday night. And then, of course, Tuesday night, they lose 8-4 to the Cubs. Mick Abel struggles for the first time in his very brief MLB career. Taijuan Walker in his first high leverage situation gives up the lead. So a lot of stuff going on last night. Ruben, you were out in the outfield last night.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Was that fun? I mean, I do enjoy listening. Yeah. I do think it's a lot of fun.
It is a blast. It really is. I mean, I loved, actually seeing the game from different angles is one of the cool things about Citizens Bank Park. Citizens is, I think, one of, if not the best venues. I mean, we got delivered a lot of food, some beer. Jason Kelsey came out and hung out with us, our old guest. Hey, go back and check out that podcast. Jason was awesome in that. If you get a chance, I don't know which number that was, but it was during the course of the off season, I think. And I just think that we should do those more. I really do. I think that it's fun. It's not that tough of a production. I know it's difficult for the crew and everything, and I really appreciate it. But it was a blast. I think that one time we had Maxie on it. Then we had Kelsey. It's just a blast, and I wish. And we've been pretty successful. We won a lot of games during those, but not last night.
No, not last night. I saw they did bring out you the bucket of beer, and I have had that garage beer. This is not a advertisement or anything, but it's a pretty it's solid. I do have some in my fridge upstairs. Have not tried the lime one though. Did you actually try the lime beer?
I did drink it. I had a couple of sips. I didn't drink the whole beer.
Right.
Because I think I would have gotten in trouble with my producers. But I did have a couple of sips of it. It's a nice light beer and just a little bit of hint of lime in there.
Yeah.
It's actually really good.
I saw them bring that out. I was kind of wishing I was up there with you.
Yeah, I don't blame you, because we started passing them out. We pass out most of the food. I had some of the tips. I had a couple of the, Chickies and Pete's fries. I did have the donuts though. Holy smoke. Those donuts are fire.
I love it.
Fuego.
I love it. I love it.
Really good.
It looks like a lot of fun, other than the result, of course. And so let's jump right into Tuesday night's game with first pitch. First pitch is powered by the betPARX Sportsbook and Casino app. Guys, Monday, we talked a lot about changes that might be coming for the Phillies. We talked about, do they need a team meeting? Do they need to shake up the roster? Maybe bring up Justin Crawford or other folks. The most obvious choice for us, I think we were all in agreement, was probably shaking up the lineup, probably dropping Bryson Stott down in the lineup, probably elevating Trea Turner, and that's exactly what happened on Tuesday night. Bryson Stott dropped to 5th for now. Trea Turner hitting 1st, Kyle Schwarber 2nd, and then it was Bowman and Castellanos. I mean, it seemed like it was a no-brainer. Rob kind of telegraphed it on Sunday, and it's something that needed to be done. I was looking at some numbers. Bryson Stott, and we all thought that he would be a great fit. He started off really good in that leadoff spot, but in 38 games as the Phillies leadoff hitter this season, batting .228, 280 on base percentage. That's the killer one. 607 OPS. Entering Tuesday night, Phillies leadoff hitters since May 1st, 24th in baseball, .229 batting average, 28th in baseball, .280 on base percentage. Only the Rockies and Orioles leadoff hitters have been getting on at a lesser rate than the Phillies leadoff hitters, which again has mostly been Bryson Stott. So Ruben, I imagine, you agree with this?
Well, I don't think there's any question he had to be moved. And it's disappointing because I'm not sure what's going on with Bryson Stott, because I still think he has all those skill sets, but he's not producing. And so when you're not producing and you're having an expectation of producing at a much higher level, then you got to make a change. And I think it was the right thing to do to slide Turner up there in that one hole. I know why he got slid into the 5 hole. And it's basically to split up the right-handers, but it tells you a lot about, the fact that they don't have a whole lot of production period right now from like the 5 hole on. And that is what's going to get them. It's obvious that they do need some more production from the outfield. Now, I mean, it's nice to see Marsh come up with the big hit to win, to put the game on ice a couple of nights ago, but and he did get a couple of hits. Hyperextended his elbow on a slide. And, I mean, who knows what's going to happen as far as that is concerned, but it didn't look like anything that serious that he'd have to be pulled out of the game. He's out of the game, and they really don't do much damage in the latter part of the game yesterday. So I don't know what they're going to do in the outfield, but I'd be a proponent of bringing that kid up once he's ready and physically ready. That's the difficult part about it is that you got to get other people rolling too, and you just don't have Bryce Harper in that lineup, which makes a difference.
Well, that was the thing that jumped out at me real quick is that, Stott was hitting 5th, and it just really kind of just shows you how much the rest of that offense is struggling. I mean, you think about Bryson Stott, the numbers I just read you, right? In the leadoff spot, 280 on base percentage, batting .228, OPS just over 600. You think this guy's going to take a big drop in the lineup, but with Bryce Harper out, with the rest of those guys struggling, Jim, he's arguably their 5th best hitter, or 5th most consistent hitter right now, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, when you see him in the 5 spot, you're like, wow, this team, when you see him anywhere in the middle, the way he's been swinging it, you're like, this team's really missing Bryce Harper, just missing the guy and the production. But, it was a move that had to be made. I mean, we said in the offseason that some of this offense's improvement was going to come from within. An improvement from Trea Turner and an improvement from Bryson Stott coming off down years last year. And it has happened for Turner. It has not happened for Stott. He's actually having a worse year than he had last year. I mean, you mentioned since May 1. I mean, since June 1, in the month of June, he's got 3 hits and he's walked twice. Just not getting on base enough, not making enough happen. So, I see why Rob made the move. I wouldn't really call it a shakeup. I call it a tweak or minor adjustment. But and as far as, with Marsh hyperextending that elbow a little bit, I'm really curious to see on Wednesday how serious it is and how they address it, because, offensively, Crawford is certainly knocking on the door, if not kicking it down. But he hasn't played in the better part of a week because of quad. I don't know if you can bring him. He didn't play on Tuesday night. No. I don't know how you can bring him if he hasn't played in close to a week. And there are questions about his defense, but I think his offense, just the way he's been hitting, probably suggests he's going to have to get a chance here pretty soon. I'm curious to see how he runs down balls, because that is a bit of an industry concern, his defense. A lot of people think he's a better left fielder. But right now, this team ain't hitting. Right now, this team needs more offense. It needs Bryce Harper back. It needs guys to start clicking. And, the manager can jump in and do some things, and he has elevated Trea. I think we'll see him on an extended run, and Stott's going to have to fit in where he fits in. So anyway, that was First Pitch, powered by the betPARX Sportsbook and Casino app. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, for the card collectors out there, you need to know about Arena Club. You can check out our showrooms. We've all got cards in there. You can buy, you can sell, you can trade, and you can rip packs. They're called slab packs, Kratz. And then what happens if you don't like what you pulled?
You get an instant offer. But before you get that instant offer, you can show your showroom around. Kind of like when I used to put the cards in the sleeves and my buddies would come over and show them. Now Bang, show them on the phone. Instant offers right there if I need it.
Yep, that instant offer is for the estimated fair market value. Accept it on the spot. Acquire the best value for your money with SlabPARX transparent checklists and Arena Club's Slab Safe program. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, grading, or ripping packs, Arena Club is the safest, most trusted in the game. Right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/foul and use code FOUL. That's arenaclub.com/foul, code FOUL.
So Justin Crawford, yeah, Jim, he has not played since Thursday. It's like a cramp issue in his leg. Apparently, he did do some
quad,
work.
right?
Quad cramping. Like nobody seems to be overly concerned about it. It's not an IL situation, but it's also he kind of needs his legs, so they're trying to be overly cautious with him. And I guess before the game on Tuesday night in Lehigh Valley, he did work out, regular running, hitting, fielding practice, has not returned to the lineup yet. So I do wonder if he was healthy, man, if it would be like imminent, call up would be imminent. But I think coming off this quad issue, they might want to be careful with him, right? I mean, you're not going to rush the guy into here. It seems like
you can't.
Bad timing for him,
especially when that's his biggest asset. I mean, he has to have his biggest asset when he gets on the field. So there's no reason to rush him because the team at the major league level is not getting the job done. Those guys are going to have to step forward. I mean, Schwarber's been really struggling. He said it himself. That's a huge piece of the lineup when you have Harper and Schwarber really not producing. Harper because of the injury, Schwarber because of the fact that he's just struggling and going through one of those phases. Such a bad combination. Now they're better than this offensively, but how much better, I'm not sure, because you just haven't being able to get that production from center and left. You're going to get more production from Kyle Schwarber, and you're going to get more production from Harper once he gets back, but we're not sure when he's coming back. He's getting a little bit better, but not all that much better, at least according to Rob Thomson.
I wonder, are we concerned that Marsh could miss some time here, Ruben?
I don't know if it was all that serious, but Marsh has had some he's had some stuff happen in the past, and it's taken him some time to get back, right? So he had a little bit of a knee or behind the knee issue, and they had to IL him, and
I mean, that looked like nothing that night it happened.
It didn't look like very much at all. I guess the hard tag hyperextended. He went in with that oven mitt. I thought it was his hand. I was like, what? Why would it be his hand if he's got that big old oven mitt on there? But apparently it's his elbow that got hyperextended on the tag. I think it was Von Hayes who actually tweeted me during the game and told me that. Believe it or not.
Right?
Von Purple, the guy I got traded for. Anyway, actually, it didn't look all that serious to me, but who knows? I mean, it may be a lot more than we thought based on, the fact that he got taken out of the game. Yeah. Typically, you wouldn't get taken out of the game in that situation unless it was something.
A lot of times stuff doesn't look that serious in real time. And you wake up the next morning and it's has become inflamed and gotten swollen, and you have to do something about it. So I think to me the key is how he feels and looks today. You don't want to rush Crawford here in the short term because if his leg is not 100%, because you mentioned legs are his game, and two, he's going to come to the big leagues and there's going to be a burst of adrenaline. If it's not 100% leg, healthy leg, it's going to be a problem because you could tweak something with that extra adrenaline, because there always is. I mean, look at Mick Abel when he came; it was an extra tick on his fastball. Yeah. It's just the way human nature works.
Well, the other thing that is, if it is a something that's sort of serious in his elbow, and they don't want to IL him and wait for Crawford to be ready, they don't have to IL him. He can still use his legs. He can still pinch run. He can do some other things. Mm-hmm. Before, until Crawford might be ready, and then it's a possibility they could IL him. We'll see.
Jim, you mentioned Mick Abel. Mick Abel was brilliant his first 2 starts. Of course, hadn't walked a batter, just absolutely dominated. Gave up like 1 earned run in 11 innings, and then last night, Tuesday night, of course, no walks. Yeah, no walks was the big thing, because that was the bugaboo for him the last couple of years in the minor leagues. So then last night he walks, I think, 3 batters. He gives up 3 solo shots. Command wasn't the best. Struggles for a little bit, and then kind of following that, Taijuan Walker, who got bumped out of the rotation for Mick Abel, gets his first true opportunity in a high leverage situation, and then gives up the go-ahead home run to Ian Happ. And I mentioned both of those guys because both of those guys are going to get longer looks in that spot, especially with news on Tuesday afternoon that Aaron Nola has now a stress fracture in his right rib. In a right rib, he hasn't pitched in almost a month.
A stress reaction, not a
stress reaction. My bad. Thank you for that.
Let's get the terminology correct. I did study human biology back in the day. That's right. It is something before a fracture. It's something that's close to a fracture, but not quite a fracture. And he doesn't know how it even worked,
and
how it happened.
Yeah, exactly. So he hasn't. So the stress reaction in his right rib, he will not throw for another 2 weeks. And now you start adding it all up, and you guys know a guy hasn't pitched since May 14th, I think. Yeah, he's not pitched since May 14th. I think he threw a bullpen about 10 days ago. He's probably not going to be back. Would you guys be surprised if he was back before the All-Star break?
I would be.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
it's
that old adage, like however long you're down, and you need that length of time to ramp up again. I don't see him before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping he comes back healthy, with a fresh arm, a fresh mindset, and has a dazzling second half. It's going to be kind of fascinating. Much like Wednesday, it's going to be fascinating to see how Jesus Luzardo bounces back. It's going to be fascinating to see how Aaron Nola bounces back after these 2, I would call them, minor injuries, after this mental reset, after this physical break, because it just feels to me like they're giving him a break. And they're gearing him for a big stretch drive. And maybe the break is necessitated by the heavy workload he's carried. I'd have to do a little bit of math. But even with this month off, since the start of 17, I think he still leads the major leagues in innings pitched. I think Jose Barrios from Toronto is nipping at his toes here, but I mean, Nola has carried a tremendous workload, and this almost seems strategic to me. Give him a break and let him fly for the last, 2+ months and into the postseason. But we're going to find out, and the true read will come in major league competition against major league hitters, because is he locating? Is there a little more on his stuff? Because if there's not a little more, life on his stuff, he's got to be super precise, because these big league hitters, when you are not super precise, will knock it into the second deck, into the seats, as Mick Abel found out on Tuesday night. 3 solo home runs, that's going to happen up here when you're not really precise with your command. And he was up in the zone, hung a breaking ball, boom,
It's so this creates a dynamic. A couple of things happen here. It kind of creates a dynamic. Does Abel stay up there and pitch, or do you slide Taijuan Walker back in the rotation? Well, they're not sliding him back in the rotation, and it doesn't sound like he's particularly pleased about it. But he's been a very, very good soldier so far. But Mick Abel's going to have to pitch well to keep them, sort of above water. And I'm hopeful that he does. I mean, to me, it's not about necessarily the fact that he got banged around a little bit and was a little off kilter. It's how he then produces in his next start, because I always feel like young players, I get a real good sense of young players when they get banged around a little bit. How much do they react from that? How can they handle bouncing back, which is why it's so pressing and important for Luzardo to bounce back, but also Abel in this situation, because he needs to hold it down so that they can get a really good look at Taijuan Walker and whether or not he can, fill that role. Struggled a little bit last time out, last night. Gave up that 2-run home run, but Ian Happ was swinging the bat really well. He made a really good pitch on Ian Happ, a little cutter inside, and he just had a great night.
It is a real test of any athlete in any sport, how you bounce back after you get your nose bloodied. Test, it shows the character you have, and can you take your ability and make it work after that? Can you make it a growth experience? Can you make it a learning experience? So, but I absolutely agree with this move that, to me, Mick Abel stays in the rotation. He's got the depth of pitches to do it. He's got the stuff to do it. He's not going to be perfect. He's not a finished product, but, I want him out there in that starting rotation, getting innings, giving me a chance to win. And, to me, Taijuan Walker's had ample opportunities in that rotation. And if he had seized it, he gave them some good innings earlier this year. I absolutely respect that. But, over the course of his time here, he really hasn't seized it. So they have to take a look at Mick Abel here, and it's up to Taijuan Walker to contribute in that role in the bullpen. I agree. He seemed a little miffed after Tuesday night's game. I do not know if that was at himself or at the role he is in, because he, was asked about, is he embracing this challenge? And he says he's embracing it, I guess. Kind of, there was a little equivocation there, so made you think. But
I've accepted it. He said something along those lines. Yeah,
right? I've accepted it, but Mick Abel needs to be in that rotation right now and building innings, because I don't know, he might be a bullpen consideration in October.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you guys that, Jim. You touched on it. Taijuan is not. He's not coming out and saying I don't want to do this, but he's not coming out and saying I want to do this either.
Yeah.
So you read between the lines. So if you're Rob Thomson, is that a concern? That he's not super happy, or do you sit there and go, listen, I get he wants to start, but I do believe he's going to put together the best effort, and we do need to see it. Like, how do you kind of approach Taijuan not being happy? It's kind of different, kind of the same, but I remember back in the day when you guys bumped out Jamie Moyer out of the rotation, and he pulled us into the stands. Remember that, Jim? Were you at Wrigley Field that afternoon?
Yeah, in Wrigley. He was not happy. He was not happy with Ruben, but I think his ERA began with a 6 at that point. Come on.
100%, but a starter is a starter, and they don't feel like they should be in the bullpen. It's a shot to the ego. And, I remember Jamie Moyer expressing that distaste of being moved to the bullpen.
Especially with Taijuan last night, you wonder about the emotions of it all, because, earlier in the day, they announced that Nola's absence is going to be even longer than expected. Mm-hmm. And, that would open a spot in the rotation where he clearly wants to be, but they're going to give it the look to Mick Abel, and that's the route they need to go. They need to see what this kid can do. We've already seen enough this year that he's earned that look, and you have to do what's best for your team. And seeing Mick Abel in the rotation with his firepower and his potential is the route that this team needs to go right now.
So this is the thing that the manager's going to learn, and have to not learn, but this is the manager's job to make this guy feel like this is the most important role in that bullpen for this team right now to win. And I think that's the sort of the magic of Rob Thomson. I think it's going to be, it's part of being a manager is the psychology of trying to work with these players and having them understand their roles, because, hey, you're managing egos, you're managing roles, you're managing all types of stuff. And this is where having a relationship with the players is uber important. And I do believe that Rob Thomson will handle it well.
Hey, Ruben, what do you got on PARX?
Hey, listen, guys, PARX Casino is my casino of choice. They have it all. They have got action. They've got excitement, and they've got headline and entertainment. Thousands of hot slots in a state-of-the-art sports book, a beautiful poker room, the Liberty Bell Beer Garden, and so much more. PARX Casino, this is how you win. Now, tickets are on sale for these national headliners, and I have been to some of these concerts and some of these comedians. They've been outstanding. On July 12th, it's comedian Mark Norman, comedian Joey Diaz on August 23rd. September 6th, it's English reggae and pop band UB40. Red Wine, baby. Comedian Russell Peters on September 27th. Comedian Brian Regan on November 22nd. Don't forget, and you can get your grub on dinner and drinks before the show at Liberty Bell Gastropub, Parks Grill Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, or Chickies and Pete's. PARXCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You must be 21. If you got a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLING.
Guys, last week, our friends at Shibe Vintage Sports gave us, we're going to do another giveaway with our friends at Shibe Vintage Sports. They're giving away another Phillies cap this week. And check this one out. This is a sweet one. This is a 1950s red Phillies cap with a National League patch on the side.
Sweet.
Patch is from the...
Sweet.
So this isn't a Shibe exclusive. The patch is from the 1951 season. Apparently, all NL teams wore this patch on their jerseys to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the National League. So if you want a chance to win this cap from Shibe Vintage Sports, you can scan the QR code on your screen if you are watching us on YouTube. If you are not watching us, if you're listening to us, you can go to shibesports.com/TPS, shibesports.com/TPS. Last week's winner was Bobby Mulder from Ardmore. He won the cap last week. And this is the cap, the style cap that the Whiz Kids wore when they won.
It's a sweet cap. It's a sweet P, man. That P is really, really sweet.
It is cool. It brings you back. It's the cap that Jim Bunning wore.
Yes.
In 1964. When he, perfect game. On what day, Ruben?
Don't know.
Come on.
Father's Day. Father's Day, Ruben.
My
Father's
bad.
Day.
And that was also
I
the
should
day.
know that too, because my dad had the day off that day. He was so pissed.
Oh, wow.
My dad didn't play that game, I don't think. I don't think my dad played that game. I remember running on the field. He had number 20. You know, his number did get retired, number 20. Anyway.
So Father's Day 64.
I remember running on the field. I didn't.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm right. Tell me about running on the field. I'm sorry, I've interrupted you.
No, I just remember my dad running on the field, jumping on the pile because my dad wasn't on the field. And he typically would be because he was a defensive specialist. Weird.
So that was Father's Day 1964. Ken Venturi won the U.S. Open that day. And because the U.S. Open always finishes on Father's Day. But anyway, at the 25th year anniversary of the 64, of Bunning's 64 perfect game in Shea Stadium, I did like a look back story. And I got in touch with Rick Wise, who pitched the second game. There was a doubleheader that day. Mm-hmm. And in those days, doubleheaders started like 20 minutes later. So everybody runs on the field to celebrating this perfect game. And Rick Wise is like, I got to warm up. And he can't find a ball. He can't find a bullpen catcher because everybody's going crazy about this perfect game. And he was telling me that Jim Bunning talked about the perfect game the entire, in the late innings in the dugout. He's pounding his glove. Come on, guys, we got to get this. We got to get this. And I'm like, isn't that taboo? And he goes, Jim Bunning was way too practical of a man to, let some superstition or something cloud his way. He was just, super focused on getting that perfect game done. So it was apparently a searingly hot day too in Shea Stadium, and they wore those heavy gray uniforms. But imagine that, Rick Wise saying, I got a pitch, who can warm me up? And nobody's available.
Nobody. Clay Dalrymple's on the pile right now, so you'll have to get him later, fellas. It's funny. So Ruben, you mentioned your dad not playing at that game. I looked at the box score last night, and sure enough, your dad did not play. He did play in game 2, though. He pinch hit. He came in as a defensive replacement for Dick Allen in the 6th inning, played third base, finished the game at third base. The Phillies swept that doubleheader against the Mets. But I was going to ask you, it's so funny that your dad said he was upset he did not play in that game, because I was like, your dad was a Gold Glover. And I was like, I can't believe they didn't put him in at some point in the game, but he did not play. And
it was
I
interesting.
didn't know that he was not happy about it.
No, he was not. He had played. He won the Gold Glove that year at shortstop. Bobby Wine won it the year before in '63, which is insane because they had 2 shortstops on the team. My dad won the Gold Glove the next year. He only played 90 or 100 games at short. He played all over the diamond. So my dad's sort of forte was the glove, and it's back when they pick people based on merit, not necessarily their bat.
Right.
Although he did have a pretty good year offensively that year.
Right. If you want a chance to win that cap, go scan the QR code on your screen right now or visit shibesports.com/TPS. Shibe Vintage Sports for all your throwback Philly sports gear and the best gifts for Father's Day, which is Sunday. Visit their 4 locations around Philly or online at shibesports.com. Guys, Jesus Luzardo, big start today on Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon against the Cubs. They need a big bounce back from him. They don't need him to go 8 scoreless, but hey, how about 6 innings, 3 runs? How about a quality start would be, I think, ease a lot of minds with a lot of people in that rotation right now, just to see him kind of get back on track because, oh, baby, they can't have what happened the last 2 go for a 3rd consecutive start. That would be troubling.
It'd be rough.
That would be
a lot of concern, and it's exacerbated by the fact that the team is playing so poorly.
Right.
1 in 10 in their last 11.
Yeah, they
2
need
and 10.
Yeah, they need all the help they can get because the offense is struggling, and so they need great pitching just to give them a puncher's chance to win some of these games right now until the bats get going again. So, guys, that was fun. We will be back later this week.
Smell you later, boys.
Smell you, Jim.
Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to the Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. If you like us, give us a review. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Threads. Find Ruben's analysis before, during, and after Phillies games on NBC Sports Philadelphia, on the Sports Radio 94 WIP Morning Show, and MLB Network. Find Jim at allphly.com. Find me at MLB.com, the Phillies Beat newsletter, and MLB Network.